Hello, and welcome back to Small Screen Stories. This is the daily show where I go over the news of the day in the world of entertainment and pop culture. I'm Edward Lauder, I'm the editor of Small Screen, and let's just get right into the news today. The biggest news of the day was that Jared Leto is going to be playing the Joker again in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Zack Snyder's Justice League? And this is pretty big news because the Joker, at least Jared Leto's version of the Joker, was pretty widely panned. People did not like his take on the character, and for good reason. It was kind of weird. It was very left field. It was, well, I say it was very left field, but actually it just wasn't really left field enough. It was just kind of a bit boring. He was playing him as a kind of gangster in the movie, but then again, there have been reports that a lot of his performance was left on the cutting room floor. David Ayer, for instance, has been championing Jared Leto's version of the Joker, said he was fantastic on set, even though he went very method on set, but said that the stuff he was doing was groundbreaking. But since 2016 Suicide Squad, we've actually seen a much, much better and actually Oscar-winning version of the Joker in Joaquin Phoenix's Joker in Todd Phillips's movie Joker, which won him an Oscar and was a much more interesting version of the character. But according to, comes from The Hollywood Reporter, according to The Hollywood Reporter, we're actually going to see a version of the Joker. Well, we're going to see Jared Leto's version of the Joker. He's reportedly going to be filming reshoots for the movie, which is kind of interesting because it was just something I don't think anybody thought would happen. It's something that I'm actually quite interested in seeing because I do believe in giving actors a second chance. I think Jared Leto is a very good actor. He's been brilliant in a lot of things he's been in, but maybe the Joker, he just took it kind of too far and in kind of a weird space. He was in a weird movie as well. Let's be honest. Suicide Squad is a very odd film. I'm not a big fan of the movie. I actually kind of really didn't like it at all. But I do think that there is room there, especially if Zack Snyder's bringing him back, it obviously means that there's something there that Zack Snyder wanted to use. So let's just wait and see. This is going to be a 4-part series now, the Zack Snyder's Justice League, that's going to air on HBO Max. I don't know where it's going to come to actually over here in the UK. I have no idea about that. But it's something that I'm just very interested to see because this is a lot of, the result of a lot of fan pressure. But it does seem as though fans are a bit upset to hear that Jared Leto is going to be playing the Joker in the movie. A lot of people are kind of done with him and don't want to see him play the role again. But again, as I said before, I believe in second chances, and I won't judge anything until I see it. So it could be brilliant, and it could really add to the movie. We've also heard in the same they announced this kind of a bit randomly, but in the same article on The Hollywood Reporter, they also added that that Ben Affleck, Ray Fisher, and Amber Heard are also involved in reshoots, and that I hadn't actually heard before. I knew that they were going to be involved in the movie. There's lots of speculation about Henry Cavill or whether he's going to do reshoots for the film and shoot extra footage. A lot's been said about Henry Cavill and Superman over the last couple of months, and a lot's been said about his version of Superman in the film. It's not what Zack Snyder had in mind. I don't think it's what anyone really had in mind. But then again, when the movie came out, the one thing I did like about the film was their take on Superman, even though you had the whole moustache gates going on. But what do you guys think about this? Are you excited to see Jared Leto play the Joker again? Are you annoyed about this? Let me know in the comments below. Moving on. It's also been reported that Ben Affleck has signed on to star in more Batman films with HBO. So this comes from a blog called The Culture Nerd, and I reported on it because I'd seen a lot of people talking about it online, and I looked them up, and it's one of these things that it's kind of difficult to discern whether it actually is true or not, but they're saying it is. I like to give people the benefit of a doubt, so I ran with it. And also, I do know that Ben Affleck is actually very keen to play the role again, and we know that he's going to be playing the role again in the Flash movie. He was visibly and he was upset when he was told he wouldn't be playing Batman anymore. It was a role that he really took to heart. He really loved playing the role. I think he did a great job, and many other people agree with me. His version of Batman is something that's more kind of akin to the video games. I think that the Rocksteady video games is quite brutal. It's actually a very brutal depiction of Batman, probably the most brutal we've ever seen. It's very violent as well. But there's that scene in Batman versus Superman when he's saving Martha, Superman's adopted mother, I suppose, Earth mother. Which that scene is fantastic. It takes place in a warehouse, and it's really very special. And I would love to see more of that sort of stuff. And there's also rumors that they're actually HBO Max is potentially working on a Batman and Joker series. And now that there's this news that Jared Leto is coming back to play the Joker, this actually gives more validity, to those rumors. It's possibly something that HBO Max is very keen on doing, and reportedly Ben Affleck is now signed on to do more projects as Batman. So let's wait and see. I think it's quite interesting. That's why I ran with it today. I think I would really love to see it happen. I know there are a lot of other people that would love to see kind of more of Ben Affleck's Batman. He's also looking a lot more trim than he was before. He's lost a lot of weight. So is it in preparation for the role? He's not as buff as he was when he played Batman back in Batman vs Superman, but he's getting to a point where he's just very lean. I mean, that's all you really need, I think, for Batman. I think they kind of went overboard a bit. But what do you guys think? Would you like to see Ben Affleck come back as Batman? Would you like to see a series potentially with Ben Affleck in it? And what about a Batman and Joker series? Let me know in the comments below. Moving on. And we're going to move on to, it's again another Batman story. There's a lot of DC Comics news today. Michael Keaton addresses whether he's returning as Batman in the Flash movie. So this was kind of seen as true by everyone because I think it came from the Hollywood Reporter originally. So one of the big trades that Michael Keaton is returning as Batman, but he was on Jimmy Kimmel Live being interviewed by Jimmy Kimmel, and he was actually quite coy about the whole thing. He didn't say yes or no. What he said is, I can't confirm anything. And then they went on to have a bit of a little joke about comic book movies. And of course, Jimmy Kimmel has recently joked that he's going to be in Spider-Man 3 playing Kraven the Hunter. That is not happening, by the way. That's not happening at all. And then eventually, Michael Keaton said, so we're having discussions, as they say. We're talking about it. We'll see if that happens. So, of course, The Flash is still in it's not shooting yet. They're not shooting it yet. And it's still in quite early stages of development, really. I believe that the script is finished. And it's being directed by Andy Muschietti, who directed the It movies, which I love the first one. Wasn't a big fan of the second one, but I'm very excited to see what he does with the Flash. Apparently Ezra Miller is going to be playing the Flash in this movie, even though there was that really weird video where he was seen strangling a fan, apparently in a bar in Helsinki, I think it was. And it's a film that I'm interested in seeing because they're going to be playing around with the multiverse. We know that Ben Affleck's going to be Batman in it. We're pretty certain that Michael Keaton's going to be playing Batman in it. There are rumors of all sorts of people being in this film. There are rumors that Wonder Woman's going to be in the movie. There are rumors that Ray Fisher's Cyborg is going to be in the film. So there's all this kind of stuff. This is almost going to be like, Justice League 2.0 if this is the case. And there's going to be a lot of multiverse stuff. So a lot of actors from the past playing roles they played in the past in the DC Comics movies, which I think is fascinating. And supposedly this is why we're hearing reports of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield playing Spider-Man in Spider-Man 3, is because reportedly, again, this is a rumor, Kevin Feige kind of panicked, which that's a rumor that I don't like to hear. I didn't run with it because I was a bit like, oh, this doesn't sound genuine. But that's apparently why we're getting kind of these multiverse versions of Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is because they've seen and heard what DC Comics are doing. I don't think that's true. I think they're sticking to their own plan. I think both studios, Warner Brothers and, well, I suppose Disney, Marvel Studios, are kind of doing their own thing with their own comic book movies. And it just so happens that, they're kind of copying one another. That kind of stuff often happens. We often get years where we get two movies that are basically the same or about the same thing and very similar. It happens a lot. So, and it doesn't mean one's copying the other. It just means it's just kind of chance. But what do you guys think? Is this something that are you excited to see Michael Keaton's Batman in the Flash? Do you think it's happening? Do you think Michael Keaton's just not saying anything because he's been told not to say anything? Let me know in the comments below. So moving away from Michael Keaton and on to Zack Snyder. So Zack Snyder's actually been receiving a bit of a backlash of late after having posted a video on his Twitter account, on his Twitter feed, that ended up actually being a Vote Joe Biden video. And people on Twitter weren't very happy with him for getting all political. I ran with this because it's something that I see quite a lot of, people getting annoyed. So, for instance, it happened a couple of weeks ago with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson when he did a whole thing endorsing Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And, it's very political. It's getting very political at the moment in the United States because there's an election coming up. And it's one of those things, it's like, you can't really blame Zack Snyder for posting this. It was actually a video about Wisconsin, where he's from. And at the end, there's just a little bit at the end where it goes, "Vote Biden." Someone says, "Vote Biden." It turns out it's a Vote Biden video. And I think they got a bit annoyed about that because they felt like they'd been tricked. I posted an article on the site. You can go and have a look at it. There are some tweets there. They're basically the safest tweets I could put because there were a lot of quite vulgar ones towards him. But funnily enough, there was also quite a lot of positivity towards Zack Snyder and him doing this. From both sides, from Trump supporters and Biden supporters and people that don't support either side, which there is a lot of in the United States at the moment. So I just thought it's one of those stories it happens quite a lot, especially when an election's coming up. People get very annoyed when celebrities and creatives and people in Hollywood in positions of power start talking about politics. But it happens every 4 years, but it happens a lot around election time, which is, Chris Pratt recently got a lot of grief online because people think he's a Trump supporter. I'm pretty sure he's a Republican, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's a Trump supporter. And it's just one of these things that I think your political views, there isn't really Twitter is the worst outlet for it to express political beliefs, because you will get chastised no matter what you say by people online, because it's a platform for that. You have anonymity online and people can say whatever they want and be mean to whoever they want to be mean to. But I think we just got to, chill, I think is the best way to put it. And a lot of people need to chill out when it comes to Zack Snyder's video. He has a certain political belief, and of course he's going to use his platform to promote that. Everyone does it in the entertainment industry, and when they don't, Chris Pratt hasn't voiced any support for Donald Trump. They still get, chastised for it online. So you can't win either way. But what do you guys think about this story? What do you guys think about Zack Snyder? Are you excited for Justice League? And have you seen the video he posted online? Let me know in the comments below. So moving on, and finally away from the DC Comics universe and onto the Fast and Furious franchise. So it's being rumored that Gal Gadot is going to be returning to the Fast and Furious franchise. And of course, this was the franchise that kind of got her into the public eye, because before this, she hadn't been in a big franchise, and she became quite a big name thanks to, in part, the Fast and Furious franchise. Of course, she then got the Wonder Woman gig, and then she's now one of the biggest actresses in the world. But before that, she was in 2009's Fast and Furious, and she was then in Fast 5 and Fast and Furious 6, and she was referred to in Fast and Furious 7. Her character, Giselle Yashar, is closely linked to Han. And we all know that Fast 9, if you've seen the trailers for Fast 9, then you'll know that Han is coming back, even though he supposedly died in Tokyo Drift. We also know that Giselle died at the end of Fast and Furious 6. It's, pretty certain that she died. But we also know, saying that quite a lot tonight, but we do also know that the Fast and Furious franchise is supposedly ending after. So we're going to get Fast and Furious 9, Fast and Furious 10, and Fast and Furious 11. So she's not going to be in Fast and Furious 9. She's definitely not in that film. But according to We Got This Covered sources, she's in talks to reprise her role as Giselle in Fast and Furious 10 and possibly 11. And people are probably like, well, how can she do this? She's dead. But then again, this is the Fast and Furious franchise, which is basically a telenovela, and people can come back. We've seen it with Michelle Rodriguez. We've seen it with Han. It happens quite a lot. It's one of those things that kind of it makes sense to bring her back as well, because it'll kind of be. I'm imagining that the last two films, which are supposedly going to be directed by Justin Lin, who's in talks to direct those movies, who actually directed, I think probably all of the movies that Gal Gadot was in, all the Fast and Furious movies. I'm not sure about that. Don't quote me on that, but. Yeah, it kind of makes sense to bring her back because these last two movies will be a celebration of the franchise. And she's now a very big name, and she made her name, in part thanks to the Fast and Furious movies. But what do you guys think? Would you like to see her return as Giselle in the Fast and Furious movies in either 10 or 11? Let me know in the comments below. Moving on to Amber Heard. Go from Gal Gadot to Amber Heard. Both involved in the DC Comics universe, and this is is news specifically about her playing Mera in Aquaman 2. So it's being reported by Grace Randolph, who is a serial kind of scooper YouTuber. She basically does what I do, where she does these live streams and she talks about pop culture, mainly movies, and a lot about comic book movies. And she took to Twitter. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. And she revealed that Ezra Miller and Johnny Depp are definitely going to be in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them 3. And that Amber Heard is definitely going to be in Aquaman 2. However, they are shooting so that Depp and Heard's roles can be decreased if bad press. And then she also added that a new female character will be in Aquaman 2. So this is, of course, in relation to the current... so Johnny Depp's trial against the Sun newspaper, which involves his time married to Amber Heard, and involves the fact that he was labelled a wife beater in one of the Sun's articles, and he is now suing them over defamation. And a lot has now come to light about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's relationship and what was really going on. Amber Heard, of course, claimed that she was a victim of domestic abuse, and that is a big claim to make. And Johnny Depp is now saying that those claims were unfounded and untrue. And it's one of these kind of news stories and trials that's taken the world by storm. It's certainly taken my site by storm because people love to read about this, but it's something that is it's actually really, really serious, and just trying to get to the bottom of what really happened is I mean, it's going to be virtually impossible, but there were tapes released of Amber Heard, of conversations between Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, and it really doesn't sound very good for Amber Heard. So it's one of those things that apparently no matter what happens in the trial, Amber Heard will still be in Aquaman 2 and will still be playing Mera. They're not going to recast Mera, which is what a lot of people were calling for, basically. A lot of people have been asking that she be stripped of the role of Mera and someone else come in and play the role. There are lots of other actresses out there that could play the role just as well, probably even better than she did. Although I personally do, it's really tricky because I think she's actually really good as Mera. I think it's a role that in the first Aquaman movie I thought she was good. I'm going to be honest. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Aquaman. I thought James Wan's film was actually really quite watchable in a weird way, even though I was watching it kind of thinking this is utterly ridiculous, but I was enjoying it, and I did think her performance in it was actually quite good, and I thought her chemistry with Jason Momoa was very good as well. So it would be, to some extent, a bit of a shame to have someone else come in and play that role, and because she was good in that film. But again, it really is actually quite a big. It's a very big story, really, and the fact that, you know, if it does come to light that she was lying about being a victim of domestic abuse, then probably something should be done, and Warner Brothers should probably do something about that. If it comes to light that Johnny Depp was lying, which is also, I mean, probably possible, I don't know, then probably something should be done about him being in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them 3. We won't know until everything, I mean, everything, I suppose, has been heard, but really, a lot of people are making up their own minds. It's, you know, you're kind of going on a knife edge with this story, because it's a really complicated and twisted story as well, and it's something that's been rolling on now for months and years, and I personally would like to see it come to an end, because it's not a nice story to talk about, and it's also people's careers are on the line here. I mean, Johnny Depp reportedly lost his role as Captain Jack Sparrow because of all of this, and that was a really important role for him, like as far as money's concerned. It seems as though, you know, he's got a lot of expenses coming out, and it was a big paycheck for him. And it's also not just that; it's his career you're talking about. His name has been tarnished, and it's, you know, he's trying to bring that back, and that's what this whole case is about. Really, it's about clearing his name, and for him to be able to get past all of this. And Amber Heard is kind of is in a similar situation, but it could be the ramifications of this could be huge. But what do you guys think about this? Do you think that she should keep her role as Mera in Aquaman 2? I know there are people that think that, or do you think she should be fired from the role and replaced, or they should just get rid of the role entirely and bring in another character? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. So let's move away from that and on to happier news, and that's that Ewan McGregor has been talking about. Sorry, I'll get rid of that. That's been up there for a while. Ewan McGregor has been talking about coming back as Obi-Wan Kenobi, and has actually been suiting up for the role. He's been meeting with costume people, and he has revealed that he's thrilled to be wearing his Jedi robes again as Obi-Wan Kenobi in the upcoming Kenobi series. So he previously revealed that Kenobi was going to be filming in March of next year, but he's apparently already meeting with costume people and getting costumes done, which of course is to be expected. You know, it's actually, even though March is, we feel like it's quite far away, they still need to prepare for this. So he was actually on the Happy Sad Confused podcast, and he said, I walked into the dressing room. There were my beige cloaks and my belt and boots and my old costume. It was amazing. And then he went on to say, I'm very excited. I am really very excited about it. We've been talking about doing the series for 4, 5, maybe more years. I'm excited about the fact that it's a series as opposed to a movie. It gives us more space. And I'm mainly excited because the Mandalorian series, which I thought was really... I'm mainly excited because of the Mandalorian series, which I thought was really good. We're going to adopt some of that technology that they utilized in that filming, and I'm working with Deborah Chow, who directed some of The Mandalorian, and I'm really excited about working with her. So he's very excited, and he is very excited to see the robes again. And I think everyone is. I think, you know, this is a series that we've been waiting for a long, long time, ever since it was announced at D23, sorry, by him and Kathleen Kennedy on stage. And it's something that Star Wars fans have been dying to see. Are you dying to see it? Are you excited for the Kenobi series on Disney Plus? Let me know in the comments below. Moving on, another person who's very excited about a new series is Warwick Davis. So Warwick Davis, it was announced yesterday actually that they're going to be making a new Willow Disney Plus series, which is another thing that people have been waiting for quite some time. But it just we were waiting for actually a sequel, for a movie sequel, but that never really happened. And but now we've got this news that Crazy Rich Asians director John M. Chu is going to be directing the new series, and that Ron Howard is going to be producing. And this was posted on Lucasfilm's website. So Warwick Davis said, "So many fans have asked me over the years if Willow will make a return, and now I'm thrilled to tell them that he will indeed. Many have told me they grew up with Willow and that the film has influenced how they view heroism in our own world. If Willow Ufgood can represent the heroic potential in all of us, then he is a character I'm extremely honoured to reprise." So yeah, he's excited. I'm excited. The Willow, actually, you can watch Willow now on Disney Plus. It's a really, really good film. I think. I mean, there are some problems with it. It might have dated a bit now, but I'm really excited to see them return to this world. I'm excited to see what John Chu can do with it, because he's a really interesting director. I loved Crazy Rich Asians, and I think it's just a lot of excitement around all of this and around Disney Plus series coming out in the future. Are you excited for this Willow series? Are you looking forward to seeing Warwick Davis play Willow again? Let me know in the comments below. Moving on, and we're going to move on to a story that I was quite... I thought this was really, really funny, actually. So we reported a couple of days ago now that Rahul Kohli was in talks to play Ezra Bridger in The Mandalorian, which is, I stand by that. It's true. He is in talks, but he has been, he loves to troll people on Twitter. He's very good on Twitter. If you don't follow him, you should follow him. He's really very funny. But today he said, "I'm not playing Ezra Bridger. I'm not in The Mandalorian. I've not been in talks with Disney/Lucasfilm about anything. I do have a large penis." And that is very much his sense of humor. And I mean, I was told that he's in talks to play Ezra Bridger by sources that I do trust. I really, really do trust these guys, because when I was told this, I was constantly asking them I was trying to verify it as much as I could, and to me, I trust them implicitly. The thing is that he kind of let the cat out the bag, really, when he was talking about it on Twitter. This was a couple of weeks ago now. He was talking about potentially playing Ezra Bridger. And he was kind of, I say he was talking about it. He was leaving little clues that he was in talks, and then he came, because it snowballed, and people kind of understood what he was saying, and then he had to come out and say, "Actually, I'm not," because nothing's been confirmed yet. Ezra Bridger is definitely coming to The Mandalorian season 3, and he is one of the actors that Lucasfilm and Disney are very keen to talk to more and to potentially cast as Bridger, because he's actually going to play a key role in season 3. Ezra Bridger is one of the remaining Jedi in the galaxy. We know that, along with Ahsoka Tano and, of course, Luke Skywalker. And the whole kind of story arc of The Mandalorian is that Mando has got to get Baby Yoda back to the Jedi, which is why Ahsoka Tano is going to be in season 2. She's going to be the main Jedi in season 2. I have been informed that she will be the only Jedi in season 2, as played by Rosario Dawson. And then in season 3, Ezra Bridger is going to play a vital part in season 3. So it's one of those funny stories that I follow him, and I find him quite hilarious, actually, on Twitter. And it was something that he tweeted today, and I just could not write about it, if that made any sense. But what do you guys think? Do you think Rahul Kohli would make a good Ezra Bridger? Are you excited for season 2, sorry, which is coming out in a couple of days? I believe it's 8 days away now on Disney Plus. Let me know in the comments below. Moving on. And moving on to our final story of the day is actually pretty much related to what I was talking about before. I'm going to bring it up here. So I'm just, bear with me for a second. Here we go. Ahsoka Tano is going to be only in one episode of The Mandalorian season 2. So this was told This was reported to me by multiple sources actually, and they were pretty adamant that this is happening, this is the case. And if you see here, so I always ask my sources if I can direct quote them, because it really does help the article, and it also saves me time because I don't have to reword everything they say. But they often say yes, and two of the sources said yes, and they said Ahsoka. So I'll get it up here. They said, you can see it, Ahsoka is only going to be in one episode of season 2. But the idea is to have her be one of the main characters in season 3. So that's actually really, really big news, because I was also told that she's going to be in episode 6 in particular. So the second source that spoke to me, so I'm trying out a new thing, so it's a bit different. Okay, the second source said that Tano will only be in one episode of The Mandalorian season 2, and that's episode 6. So, this kind of made sense to me because it had been previously leaked by Emra Kaya, who's the guy behind the Vulcan Reporter. He revealed all the episode titles of season 2. And episode 6 is called The Sorcerer. And we already know, thanks to the trailers, that Mando refers to Jedi as sorcerers. So this is the episode that, according to my sources, that Ahsoka Tano is going to be in, and it's the episode where Mando meets Ahsoka Tano, and probably either hands over Baby Yoda to her, or it'd kind of be a shame to split up Mando and Baby Yoda, but it's going to happen at some point. So I think that, well, according to my sources, and I'm 100% positive this is going to happen, is that in season 2 we're going to see Ahsoka Tano played by Rosario Dawson in episode 6, and that's it. She won't be in any other episodes, which is, I'm thinking that's actually quite a good thing, because that means that we're going to see more of her in season 3, and potentially even a spin-off series with Ahsoka Tano, a spin-off live-action series. But it's something that they're looking to do. They're looking to introduce these characters from possibly the animated series, or just new characters, introduce them in The Mandalorian, and then they want to expand those characters in spin-off series. It's kind of, I think that's where the future of Star Wars is going to lie, is in these spin-off series and these Disney Plus series, and less so the movies. So what do you guys think? Are you guys excited to see this? Do you think this is something that that needs to happen? Do you want to see more spin-off series with these Star Wars characters from shows like Star Wars Rebels and Star Wars The Clone Wars? Is that something you think needs to happen, or do you think Lucasfilm should just concentrate on making new things, new properties? Let me know in the comments below. And that's it. That will be it for today. There was quite a lot to get through today, but thank you very much for watching. You can follow Small Screen on social media everywhere at Small Screen GB. That's on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And also you can find us on YouTube. And you can follow me on Twitter at EJ Lauder. And if you don't like watching these things, if you'd rather listen to them, I don't know, when you're on a run or going around, if you can at the moment, then you can also find this show as a podcast. It's called Small Screen Stories, and that's everywhere where you get your podcasts from. And thanks so much for watching and listening, guys. I will see you here tomorrow for another show for tomorrow's news. Let's see what happens tomorrow. It's an exciting world. There's still stuff happening, which is quite amazing. Even though we're currently in lockdown and there's a global pandemic, there's still stuff happening every day in the world of entertainment and pop culture. But thank you so much for listening and watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.